gangster. So now we got the bag. Imagine what's gonna happen to you niggas. The fuck is wrong with you niggas? Nigga, you know that you know what the fuck is up, nigga. Niggas know the vibe, man. Fucking death row shit. I'ma show you niggas the road. I promise you that shit, nigga. I'ma show you niggas the road. Fuck with anybody in my family, nigga. I promise you niggas. And y'all don't know who our family is. That's where y'all fucking up. That's stupid. Fucking dummy. Talk to them, Glow. What's up? He don't even want to talk. He just let me do my thing now. Look.
All right, y'all. We're
fucking
doing,
faggots.
We recording the Gangster Chronicles.
Your mama's stupid.
Showing
Go
y'all
kill somebody that you got
live,
beef with, stupid.
Niggas
ain't killing shit.
Behind the scenes.
Niggas ain't doing nothing.
We got Spider
I
Loc
love
in the
my man
house
Big
too.
Mouth for telling niggas. Niggas smoke on your cousin, cuz. Niggas smoke your cousin. Niggas smoke Harold at the light, cuz. You act like a little bitch.
Off the screen there.
Niggas smoke your fucking family out here. You trying to fuck with them. Yo, don't fuck with the little homies. Don't fuck with my little homies, man. We the mob, nigga. We the mob. They don't have us on you, nigga. Don't have us on you, nigga. You niggas stay home, nigga. Do not have me on you, boy. Do not have me on you, boy. What's up with you niggas? Come to New York, acting like y'all tough. Ain't nobody in the industry fucking with this mob right here. Nobody. Come to New York with that. Come to New York with that. What happened? What happened? Khan said something. When he say something that's important, what you say?
Pissing me the fuck off.
This kid come back here, man. This kid come back here.
Hold the fuck up. And I'm listening
I got the
to
unit. I'm not snitching on nothing. I got the unit back here. Shout out to the G unit. I'm riding around. Come to New York. We're gonna show you how we riding around. Come to New York. Come to New York. Come home. Come home since you niggas. You know you go down south, but niggas ain't been in New York in 10 years. Be like, yo, I'm from New York. When, nigga, when? Who you know? Fuck you know, nigga. Who the little homies you put on? Pussy.
What's up, Sunshine? What's up, Sunshine?
I'll show you something, man.
About to start recording this podcast, so I'm not gonna be able to interact with any of y'all.
Ain't nobody doing shit like we doing, nigga. I promise you. You niggas better stay the fuck in the South, nigga. I catch you niggas in New York. I promise you. I don't give a fuck I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
This is a recording. This is a recording that Reggie brought in, and we're gonna talk about it in a couple of minutes.
Nigga, security just got slapped, right? Fucking niggas pussy, nigga. Fuck out here. Don't play with my family, man. I'm warning you niggas. Last time you get a call that y'all playing with my family, I'm on you. I'm on you. So I got spit on all that? All you niggas. Shout to my fucking gang. Shout to the gang, man.
That's deep. So, well, I'll lead y'all into it. Y'all go into it.
Well, yeah. You're gonna have to go into it, Red.
I was talking to James and Spider.
Oh, okay.
I never heard that.
Who?
Shotti.
Shotti? From jail?
No.
Oh, okay. Some old shit. All right.
Y'all ready? All right. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, Reg. Can you explain what we just listened to, please?
Yeah, that's this audio. It's on the internet, but it's from Shotti right before he got arrested. And my point to bringing this to, since I got two OGs in here and a gang expert, is my problem. Well, it's not my problem because I know East Coast niggas got gangbangers and they tough and I'm not here to try to pull people G card. But I'm just trying to show, and my point in listening to that is how this brother is he's so confused out here with this gang stuff. How he claiming to be the mob, which is blood affiliated. But then he holler and cuss all through in the video. And I just wanted to see how the guys on the East Coast get away with that stuff from two guys from the West Coast that used to be in gangs that were West Coast affiliated. And just what your opinion about hearing that, because that shows me how these guys got indicted and caught up with trying to perpetrate being something that they really weren't. And just want to see your opinion on that.
I know he sound confused trying to mix up Death Row and G Unit all together. Like you Row and you G Unit mixed up. That sounded confusing. I understand the dude he's talking to was a Crip. That was probably just his playful way to just try to show they ain't set tripping by, saying those terms. That don't bother me one way or another. That ain't from my hood. It's comical. It's entertaining.
Well, I think
that should have bothered you a little more since he was hollering a hood that you.
Well, he pissed me the fuck off last night.
Well, that was.
I mean, just listening to it, I didn't know it was a clip that somebody just chimed in and put it up there. But if anybody listened to Bomb First last night, you can see how mad he made me. All of this talk. And, the dude never said what name who he was mad at or whatever, don't make me drop this. So I just had enough. Reggie didn't say nothing. We just sitting there listening, and then we like, who you talking about? We didn't know this was a clip. Yeah. And he pissed me. I ain't never been that mad in a long time, but that cat pissed me off. As far as his gangbanging status and all that, I'm not going to even touch that because the guy's in jail and somebody played this clip of him. So I'm going to say it ain't his fault that, motherfuckers out there playing games like that. But as far as his status on where he from and what he doing and hollering at his people, I can't be mad at him because I used to fuck with niggas like that. I go to a goddamn party and what's happening, cuz? And all the homies be mad at motherfuckers. But I mean, that's just him fucking with his homeboy or whoever that guy was.
Disrespecting the dude that.
No, the nigga name is Crippy. I know who he was talking to. Who he was talking to. Yeah.
So it that didn't bother me.
So he was a Crip?
The nigga he was talking to was a Crip. So he was trying to just show love to him.
Show love?
Yeah, he was nigga was there with him. He was trying to tell him to talk too.
Oh, so that was the dude.
Yeah.
But who was he disrespecting? Do you know?
I have not the slightest idea.
Whoever he beefing with, that ain't our business.
It was from New York. He said he was mad at some New York niggas for not being in New York.
Yeah, that moved to the south.
Yeah.
So I just found that entertaining. To me, it's confusing because you're trying to be one way and then you're talking and acting another way.
Yeah,
but just showing how he got things twisted out there.
Talking to he took some time too, didn't he, Alex? Crippy?
Who?
Crippy. His name was involved in the indictment. He took some time and got caught up in that.
Yeah, that would be Fahim Walter.
Yeah.
He was the sixth guy named in the indictment against the 9 Trey Bloods. All right.
Cool.
I didn't get to do the fact check, so I'm gonna run through that really quickly for you guys from last week. Okay, so last week, Spider, you mentioned that T.I. actually testified against the shooter. I went looking for the video. Like you said,
salute to his team.
The whole video does not exist anywhere on the internet. But apparently he testified against a guy named Hosea Thomas. And
why is we talking about T.I.?
This is just a fact check from last week.
Okay.
I just want to say that I got inundated with text messages, inboxing saying that T.I. did not actually testify against the shooter named Hosea Thomas.
But he did.
But according to you, you said you saw the video, you remember the video, but the video doesn't exist anywhere. World Star Hip Hop actually has this video that says 28 minutes, but when you try to play it, it doesn't play.
Shout out to T.I.
Somebody told me the Kodak Black uploaded it and supposed to have the whole
It wasn't
video
the whole
there.
thing. No, it wasn't.
No, it's not the whole thing. You can find one little minute excerpts of it, but the video clips that do exist don't show T.I. actually testifying against the shooter. But the shooter ended up getting 43 years in prison. His name is he's currently in Pickaway Correctional Institution in Ohio, and he was convicted of murder and a bunch of other offenses, and he won't be getting out of prison for a long time. Also, last week I shouted out Lil Doc from 6ix9ine East Coast. We talked about the truce between the Florences and the East Coasters, and I also got to shout out the woman that actually got the whole conversation going. Her name is Petra. She doesn't think that she's a big part of it, but without Petra, these conversations would have never happened. So we got to shout out Petra because Petra is the one that contacted the guy from Florence for a whole nother reason, for a whole different reason. And then the guy from Florence asked Petra, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with some East Coasters. Can you get me in touch with anyone? I've been trying for the last 3 years, and I've been unsuccessful with every East Coast that I've communicated with. So Petra said, yeah, I'll connect you with a guy named Lil Doc. And that conversation, which started in July of this year, caused the truce between the East Coast Crips and the Florence 13. And the guy from Florence 13, I can say his name because he told me it was cool. I've actually directly communicated with him. His name is Babo. His real name is Braulio Castellanos. He's been in prison since the 1980s for murder, and he is a Mexican mafia member. and he was part of the hunger strike in 2013. Prior to the hunger strike, he was in the SHU without any contact with the outside world. And after the hunger strike, they let these guys out of the SHU. And because they let him out, he was able to communicate. So without him being out of the SHU, Bobo would not have been able to communicate with Petra, and then he wouldn't have been able to connect with Lil Doc, and these conversations would have never happened.
Shout out Bobo, shout out Lil Doc, shout out Lil Slim.
Absolutely. And then last week we mentioned there's also a truce between the Norteños and the Sureños that started in 2017. And I just wanted to say that conflict started in 1968 in San Quentin prison over a pair of boots. It's called the Shoe War.
Yeah.
And that's what cracked off the Norteños and the Sureño conflict. And that apparently is over right now. They're not.
And they had a truce in prison.
Not only did they have a truce, but the same guy, Bobo, was a part of that truce. So Bobo's in prison. So Bobo's on some different thinking right now.
Well,
he's 61 years old.
Being in prison for that length of time, man, changed your
That's what it's
mind
designed to
to a
do.
lot of shit.
Yeah.
And it done humbled him. And he said a lot of this shit wasn't worth it. So, man, my head go up to that man for doing what he's doing, because he's changing a lot of shit.
Go ahead,
I
Spider.
recently spoke to the homie Lil Slim from 5'9" on the 4 yard. He told me that it's been like a 3-4 year thing where they had a racial cease tension. Like, he told me to tell the youngsters, you on your way up here, you on your way to a retirement home. That's what you better get yourself ready for.
One
You're
of the
not
two,
gonna
bro.
be the only wild nigga up here.
That's a message for the youngsters, Spider.
You're gonna program, bro. So,
See, that's what they need to hear, though.
Gonna program. You might as well start now, bro.
Yeah, because if you want to be a part of this conflict, everybody in prison is on board. In fact,
Right.
Bobo told me he sent messages to every prison yard that he can send messages to say it's over.
These phones, that means every yard. It used to take months and weeks to get them kites around. Now that's immediately.
No,
every yard, no.
It's immediate.
Right now.
It's immediate. So yeah, I wanted to just make sure I shouted out Petra. Petra, everyone knows that without what you did, this wouldn't have been possible. Okay, and then lastly, we talked about the felony murder rule last week that allowed Cameron Terrell, the white dude from Rolling 40, no, from 90s, able to beat that murder case. And that's Senate Bill 1437. I think you mentioned that last week, Reggie. And what's really interesting about Senate Bill 1437, it basically says that you have to be directly responsible for the murder in order to be charged. Prior to that, the old rule said if you're part of a murder, even though you did not intend to kill the person, you're still responsible. Or if someone else dies, an innocent bystander dies, or if the police kill somebody in the course of a crime, you're getting charged. Right. Yeah. But the felony murder rule, which is Senate Bill 1437, allows a lot of people to say, hey, I didn't intend for this person to die. That wasn't my motive. That has nothing to do with me. And that's why people like Cameron Terrell, Samaj Welch, and a bunch of other people are able to beat their cases. And it is retroactive. Remember you mentioned that last week? Yes. So people could appeal their sentences from 10, 20 years ago under Senate Bill 1437. So if you know anybody that's doing prison time because they fell asleep in the back seat or they did not intend for the person to kill, let them know that as of September 30th, 2018, that's when the law changed under Governor Brown, he can possibly get out.
Somebody just asked a question. You get paid too. Like mention. The super chat popping. But somebody said, where do the Fresno Bulldogs fall in the truce?
Oh, great question. Actually, because of the truce between the Norteños and the Sureños, it's making the Fresno Bulldogs stronger for some reason. That's the reports I'm getting from dudes on these yards, because they're not part of that. They're not Northerners. They're not Southerners. They're independent.
I thought they was rocking with the Northern.
I think
they were more.
I think in the 20 years ago they were, but they decided they wanted to go independent in the 90s.
No, not no 20 years ago. I'm saying recently.
No, they've been independent for at least a decade.
Have the 14 number behind them or the 13?
I don't know how they chose. I don't think they rock it neither.
Yeah, they're just Fresno Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And they're right in the middle of the state of California that divides Northerners and Southerners. So
well, in the penitentiary, they rock with them.
You said
No,
they broke off.
they don't rock with anyone now.
by themselves.
They by
Solo.
themselves. Yeah, they're pretty deep. So they're not
So
part
they're
of.
not a part of the truth.
Nah. So the Fresno Bulldogs, hopefully they can get on board. Hopefully they can get involved in some of these talks and conversations. But right now they have nothing to do with this truce between the Norteños and the Sureños. So, and the last thing, the Florences and the East Coasters had a meeting just on Sunday, just a few days ago. That's the second meeting, and it went amazing.
Face to face.
Face to face. They had a physical face to face meeting at the same place on 76 and Central.
I mean, who can't agree that that's some good shit?
It's amazing, man.
You definitely some weirdos that probably had that opinion. Definitely.
And let me tell you what I did yesterday.
It's great shit.
I went through both Florence hood and various East Coast hoods taking pictures of graffiti, and guess how many disses I saw in the 20 photos that I took yesterday? Zero. I found a truck that was obviously old, so the truck don't count. There was a flower on the truck, but I saw some fresh 6.6 East Coast. I saw some fresh 6 Deuce East Coast. No flowers drawn.
Salute to both sides.
And I saw a bunch of F-13 fresh hit ups. No crossing out of East Coast Crip.
That's quite
So that is real.
And this should take it to another level. How do you get to the next level with this? I mean, it's cool. You got ceasefire. If everybody getting along, you ain't got nobody dying this week, next week, tomorrow, tonight. I mean, you got to keep it going, though. You got to keep it going. You know, you got guys out there that don't want to participate in this. Get drunk. Let's go out and whoop. You might have some other motherfuckers that feel, oh no, we don't like this. These guys together, we got the Mexicans and the blacks fucking with each other or at a ceasefire.